Hello everyone, in this video I'm reacting to the biggest reason 80% of relationships fail, so yeah, let's just get right into the video.
Have you ever noticed that in relationships, the little things start to matter a little more than they should? Like at the start of a relationship, you love every single little thing about that
Romantic relationship, and even if it's
That's it?
every single day you were just in awe. But then a few months goes by and, well, things start to change a little bit. The way that they chew starts to frustrate you. The way that they breathe starts to annoy you. And then it just starts to feel like a personal attack. Well, there's actually a theory behind this, and it's called the 80-20 rule in relationships. And today we're going to break down whether this rule can change the way you think about your relationship and save it, or just make you rethink everything and end it. So I did a little research, and the 80-20 rule comes from the Pareto principle, which says that 80% of outcomes from your 20% of causes. In relationships, this means that 80% of your happiness comes from just 20% of your partner's traits. So what's the problem? Well, over time, we tend to focus on the missing 20% rather than appreciating the 80% that we already have.
I understand.
Does that sound like all of us? And so then when people start looking
Become
elsewhere,
more loosely positive.
that's when breakups happen. That's when the whole grass is always greener on the other side kicks in. That's when we're always looking for something better. And once we start looking and finding some results, it's hard to go back. So today we're going to be talking about the 80-20 rule and how it plays out in dating, and how chasing that 20% is a really terrible idea. Let's talk about it. So I'm here to be real with you. The early stages of a relationship, your partner is perfect.
Yes.
Everything you love about them is just something you are in awe of. I remember when my partner and I first started dating. We're now 5 years into our relationship, but in the first
5 years.
week, we went out 5 times. I just couldn't get enough of her. I was falling more and more in love every single second of every single day, and I wanted to see her every day for the rest of my life.
I see.
And I'll be honest, I haven't gotten bored of her. But there definitely have been times when I've questioned that 20%. You know, right, in relationships, we have the honeymoon phase. You are head over heels for a person, they're your favorite person. You all of a sudden start loving hiking just because they love hiking. Even though like 2 weeks ago you thought walking uphill was an absolute punishment. But then time happens. You find your sense of self again. Things settle down, the emotions calm down, and that excitement eventually fades. You start noticing those small little things. Like maybe they're too attached to their phone, or they only eat with their left hand. Maybe they can't cook, maybe they snore like a chainsaw's going off. And instead of appreciating that 80% that you genuinely find attractive and makes you excited and happy,
well, yeah, I should focus on this with my
focus on that 20%. And that's when your brain starts whispering, maybe there's somebody better. Maybe there's somebody out there that has 100.
No one has 100.
Maybe there is. But that's where people mess up. They leave their partner thinking they're going to find somebody who's not missing that 20%, that they're going to find somebody that's at 100%. But I'm here to tell you that there's no one with 100%. And I'm also here to tell you that you aren't 100%. Sorry. There's things that you do that you love that somebody doesn't. And that's okay, because there's a lot of you that somebody can love. Right? Maybe the next person is more adventurous, which is something that you love, but they lack emotional stability, which is something that you need.
I see.
I really want you to read what I wrote about you.
I will read about it tomorrow, when you forget about all this breaking up stuff, okay?
Maybe this person makes you laugh every single day, and the next one doesn't get you the same way. You see where I'm going with this? It's just this never-ending cycle. Trading in that 80% for that shiny new 20% and realizing how good you had it. So how do you avoid yourself from not falling in the trap of the 80-20? Well, I have 3 things. Number 1, you could recognize the pattern. If you find yourself constantly focusing on recognizing what your partner isn't, I want you to take a step back and ask yourself one question. Are they still making you happy 80% of the time? Or are you chasing this unrealistic version of perfection? And 2, differentiate between wants versus needs. Are you leaving someone because they don't have everything? Or are you leaving someone because they lack the important things? There's a difference between wanting someone taller versus wanting someone that knows how to communicate.
Yeah.
And number 3, the rule works both ways. Remember that you are someone else's 80%.
Yes.
If they are with you, then it's because you bring them more happiness than not. But if you stop appreciating each other, that's when you start falling apart and you distance yourself from one another. And like I said, I went through this in my own life. Honestly, my relationship, we broke up twice just because I wasn't sure if this was the life that I needed. I thought maybe there was something better. Maybe,
I see.
Honestly, there's this other aspect that it's not even something better. It's maybe I deserve worse. Maybe this person's too good, too ready for me right now.
It's toxic thinking.
I ended up focusing on these
That's how you get abused.
small things, this 20%. And I'm so thankful that I was able to take a step back. And I'm so thankful that I had a partner that allowed me to take my time to think and took me back. And it allowed me to appreciate what I actually had.
I see.
And looking back, it's so easy to get caught up in this 20% illusion. But the people that make a relationship last are the people who appreciate their 80%.
Yes.
And who understand that there's no perfect person, but there is a perfect person for you.
Yeah.
You just have to not pay attention to the 20% all the time. You don't have to stand there and pretend that it doesn't exist, because it does.
Yeah.
You're allowed to acknowledge that, but also take some well-allotted time to acknowledge that 80% as well. What are the things that they do that you absolutely love? That are the non-negotiables. That's the reason why you're here. So before you go and you throw away and start chasing a new fantasy, take a second and ask yourself this. Is it really that bad, or is your brain just bored?
Your brain is
with
just bored.
Our phones, every friggin' second, there's a new notification on it. There's always something better. There's always something that we can improve on. There's always something to pay more attention to. And there's always a new challenge. And that's the thing. I want you to make this new challenge of when you feel bored in life.
Yeah.
Look at it more as a point of relaxation.
Yes.
A point of calming yourself down.
I see.
Enjoy that moment of feeling bored. Enjoy the moment of having nothing to do. Enjoy the moment of being bored in a relationship. And accept that challenge to make it exciting.
Awesome.
To bring excitement into your relationship versus looking at it outwardly and going out and finding it in someone better. If you didn't see that, that's quote unquote, that's my air quotes, because there's always going to be somebody better. I'm not here to lie to you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, relationships aren't about finding somebody that's perfect. They're about choosing someone, flaws and all,
Yeah.
and appreciating what you have instead of focusing on what's missing. So
Exactly.
before you start looking at that shiny new 20%, remember the 80% that makes it all worth it.
Exactly.
Stay you, stay beautiful, and I'll see you next time.
I will. You say beautiful, Joey.
So yeah, that was a very informative video by Joey. I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining, and I agree with everything that he says in this video. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye!